डॉक्टर बाबासाहेब आंबेडकर ओपन यूनिवर्सिटी.
Hello, dear student. Have a nice day. Myself, Kiran Patel, Assistant Professor in School of Computer Science of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University, Ahmedabad, Gujarat. Dear students, we are going to start with the course RDBMS, Relational Database Management System. We have been already covered up to Unit 3 in previous session. In today's session, we will learn about Unit 4 in Block 1. Now we will start with the Unit 4 is a database design. First of all, we see the agenda of Unit 4 is learning objectives, characteristics of relational table, keys, integrity policies means integrity rules, relational set operators like union, intersect, minus, product, join, select, etc. Attributes, relationship contains in a relational database, connectivity and cardinalities, relationship strength, relationship degree such as unary, binary, ternary, etc. The database design process like top-down versus bottom-up design and centralized versus decentralized database design. And last one is anomalies in database like insertion, deletion and update anomalies. After learning this unit, you will be able to getting the knowledge about entity and its attributes. And the main thing is that you will be understand the database design process and different types of the anomalies occur in it. From this agenda, we have been already covered some topics in Unit 3 like attributes and its types such as simple and composite attributes, single value and multi-value attributes, null and not null, and derived attributes. We have been already covered relationship contained in a relational database like one-to-one, one-to-many, many-to-one, and many-to-many in Unit 3. We also covered the relationship degree like unary, binary, and ternary relationship. These all topics are covered in Block 1, Part 2 of Unit 3. Today, we are going to learn about the remaining topic like keys, integrity policies, relational set operators, database design process, and anomalies in the database. Now, start with the characteristics of the relational table. Now, the view of the data in the table format, it makes it easy for the database designer to design the database. The 8 characteristics of the relational table are mentioned below. The first one is the table is a two-dimensional arrangement structure of rows and columns. The table is also known as a relation. Simply, a table is a combination of rows and columns. Like in the figure, student table have 2 columns and 3 rows. The second one is the tuple correspondence to a single entity event contained in the entity set. Tuple means a rows. It is a collection of data of particular entity. For example, student is an entity and a collection of data like student roll number is equal to 1 and his percentage is 95.65 is called the tuple. Now the third point is every relational table have a columns or an attributes which should have the distinct name means that every table must have a unique column name. In the figure, roll number and percentage is a unique column name, is a student. table in which is not repeated in the same student table. The fourth one is intersection of the rows and column represent a single value in a table. Now fifth one is in the column every value must be correspondence to the same data type and format. Like percentage column have a double data types. Every value in a percentage column is a double data type format. The sixth one is each column can have definite range of the value known as the attributes domain. In the figure, roll number has a range of the possible value between 1 to 30. So it contains 1 to 30 range only. The seventh one is a sequence of the rows and column is irrelevant in the DBMS. The last one is every table must have an attributes or its combination that can distinctively identify a tuple. Means the column or the combination of the columns in the table is used to uniquely identify the rows or tuples. Simply, it is called the key attributes or the key columns. Now, what is keys? A key is a consist of one or more attributes that determines the other attributes. It is used to uniquely identify the each rows in a tables. Each table must have an attributes that is unique and it's able to identify the unique record of the table. For example, roll number attributes in student table contain a unique data. So the roll number is used to uniquely identify the other attributes like name, city, phone number, etc. So the roll number is a key attributes. This statement can be denoted by the arrow sign. For example, roll number, arrow, name, city, and phone number attributes. This concept of determination is known as a functional dependencies. The functional dependency can be defined as the non-key attributes is determined by the key attributes is known as a functional dependency. For example, the non-key attributes like name, city, phone number in a student table is determined by the key attributes like roll number. So we can say that the name, city and phone number is functionally dependent on the roll number. For example, in a person table, Aadhaar card or PAN card or election card is a key attributes because it is used as a uniquely identify the records. Same as in a employee table, employee ID is the key attributes. In a customer table, customer ID is a key attributes, etc. Now the next is different types of keys. First is the super key. What do you mean by super key? An attributes that uniquely identifies each rows in the table is called the super key. For example, roll number or phone number are individually uniquely identify the records in the student table. So, individually it is used as a super key. Now next one is a composite key. A composite key, it is a combination of two or more attributes that is used to uniquely identify the records in the table. For example, the combination of both roll number and phone number are uniquely identify the records in the student table. So the combine of the roll number and phone number is a composite key. We also combine the key attributes with the other attributes, like roll number is a uniquely identify the records. It contains the unique data. So we can combine the roll number with the name to identify the unique record. We also combine the roll number with the CT attributes or roll number with the phone number attributes to identify the unique records. Now, what is candidate key? A candidate key is a minimal super key or irreducible super key. Means the super key have a no subset is called the candidate key. For example, roll number is individually enough to identify the unique records in the tables, or only phone number is individually enough to identify the unique records in the table. So individually it is called as a candidate key. From roll number or phone number, any one attributes is enough to identify the unique records. So roll number or phone number, only one of them attributes is selected as a candidate key, not both, only single attributes. Now the next one is the primary key. Primary key is selected from a candidate key to uniquely identify all other attributes and does not contain the null value. For example, roll number is used to uniquely identify the records in the tables and does not contain the null value. So it is called the primary key. And the other attributes like phone number is also used to uniquely identify the record, but it may contains the null value, because if we don't know the roll number of the student, then we make or we put the value null in the phone number. So we cannot make the primary key to the phone number attributes. Now the primary key plays the important roles in a relational environment because its reference is used in a other table as a foreign key. That's why primary key is important. Now the next one is the secondary key. A candidate key which is not selected as a primary key is called as a secondary key. For example, phone number is used to uniquely identify the records in the table, but it contains the null value. So it is not selected as a primary key. Thus, it becomes a secondary key, or we can say that it is a alternate key. Now the next one is a foreign key. An attributes is one table whose value must match the primary key in another table. For example, roll number is used to uniquely identify the records in a student table. So it becomes the primary key in a student table, and roll number in a student table becomes the foreign key, and roll number in a result table may be repeated or null. If any student have a pass or fail result, two result suppose, then result table contain the two entry of the same roll number, like roll number 3. So the result table contains the two entry of the roll number 3, pass value and fail value. So the primary key contain the single value, and foreign key maybe contain it is a two value or null value. Now thus the foreign key contains either matching the value of the primary key of the another table or repeated or null value. The foreign key contains the value must be existing as a primary key in another relation. Now the next is integrity policy. Integrity rules. Integrity policy means integrity rules are very significant and they must be followed for a good relational database design. They are, first is the entity integrity and second one is a relational integrity. Now first, entity integrity. Entity integrity ensures that all the primary keys are unique and cannot be null. Each row have a unique value and foreign key can reference this value. For example, in the figure, in a student table, roll number is a primary key. Thus, the roll number cannot be duplicated or it cannot be null. Now, the second one is a referential integrity. Referential integrity ensures that a foreign key must be matched with the primary key value. The foreign key takes the reference from the primary key table or a master table. Sometime foreign key may have the null entry or a duplicate value. For example, see in the figure, in a result table, roll number is a foreign key. It takes the reference from the student table, roll number of the student table. Thus, the roll number in a result table can be duplicated or it can be null. Now, the next one is the relational set operators. There are 8 relational set operators populated by the relational algebra to implement the various operations. The operator we are going to discuss are the union, intersect, difference, divide, product, select, project, and join. Consider these two tables, customer master and salesman master. Now we are going to start with the union operators. First one is a union. This operation combines all the rows from the two tables with the no duplicate records. Both the table must have the same number of the columns or of fields and the data types of the column must be same. The aggregate function like sum, max, mean, etc. cannot be used with the union. For example, union operation is shown in a figure. Select client number as a ID and client name as a name from the client master where city is equal to VAPI. Union, select salesman number ID and salesman name as a name from salesman master where city is equal to VAPI. Now, here display the output of the first query is C1 and C2 and output of the second query is a S1 whose city is a VAPI. Now the output of query 1 is a C1 and C2 and query 2 is a S1. So the union combines the both result together and final output of the union is a C1, C2 and S1. Now the next relational set operators is the intersect. Intersect, this operation displays only those records that are common on both the table. The example of the intersection operation is shown in the figure. Select the salesman number, salesman name from the salesman master where city is equal to VAPI. Intersect, the second query is select salesman number, salesman name where from the salesman master where city is equal to VAPI or city is equal to Valsad. The output of the query 1 is S1 and output of the query 2 is S1 and S2. The intersect display the common records in a both result. The intersect display the common records in both the result together, and final output of the intersect is S1. Now the next relational set operators is a difference or a minus. It displays all the records in a one table that are not found in another table. The result of the difference operation is shown in the figure. First query is select salesman number from salesman master minus select salesman number from product master. The output of query 1 is S1, S2 and S3, and query 2 is S1 and S2. So the difference or minus is display uncommon records in both the result together, and final output of the differences is S3. Now the next one is a divide. This operation use one single column table as a divisor and two attributes tables as a dividend. In this operation, the table use must have a common attributes. Here, the first table is divided by the second table, where both the table share the common attributes key and does not share the location. The output display only the value that is associated with the both C and D. The next one is a product operation. The product operation means multiply. It display all the possible pair of the rows from the two tables. This operation is also known as a Cartesian product operation. For example, if one table has a 3 records and another table has a 3 records, the product operation will display the 9 records. It is like multiplication operation. The product operation is performed between the client master table and salesman master table. The output of the product operation is shown below. Now the next one is the select. These operations display all the records from the given table that satisfies the given criteria. This operation is also known as a restrict operation. For example, suppose we want to list all the records from the client master table where the client name start with the letter R. So the output of the select operation is shown in the figure because the name start with the R is a two person, Rohan and Ravi. Now the next one is a project. This operation display all the values for the selected attributes, which is vertical subset of the given table. The result of the project operation is shown in the figure. The select start from the client master. Project select city from the client master. So the output of the query 1 is all the records of the client master table. And the query 2 is a city of the client master table. So the project is select the city attributes from both the table, and final output of the project is display the city column. Now the next one is joins. Join, it is used to display the information to be combined from the two or more tables. Here we use the primary key and foreign key concept. There are different types of the joins. First one is a inner join or a equijoin. What do you mean by inner join and equijoin? It returns all the rows when there is at least one match in both the tables. Inner join means at least one match. So both the tables, student table and result table, in both the table, record 1, 2 and 3 is displayed in a inner join because these three records are matched in both the table. Now the left join. Left join means return all the rows from the left table and match the rows from the right table. So here the first table is contain 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 records. So the left join display all the records of the student table. Now the next is right join. Return all the rows from the right table and match the rows from the left table. So suppose left table is a student and right table is a result. So all the records from the result table is display. It not display the 4 and 5 number of the records. So right join display the roll number 1, 2, 3 from the result table. Now the last one is full join. It returns all the rows when there is match in one of the table. The full join display all the records from the both table. Now the next is database design process. Database design is the procedure of creating the complete data model of the database. It consists of all the logical and physical design alternatives and physical storage consideration needed to create a design of a database. It should always reflect the information system and should undergoes the evaluation and revision within a framework known as a database life cycle. There are two methods of the database design. First one is a top-down versus bottom-up database design, and second one is a centralized versus decentralized database design. Now, first is the top-down versus bottom-up database design. In top-down approach, we identify the data set and define the data elements. In bottom-up approach, we identify the data elements first and then we group them into the data set. A data set is a set of the data or a collection of the data. A data set is presented in a database tables. In a figure, entity is represented as a data set and the data elements or a data items or a value means the smallest unit of the information. In the diagram, it is represented by the attributes. Now, the next one is a centralized versus decentralized database design. In a centralized database design is conducted by a single person or a small team as shown in the figure. At conceptual level, all the verification of the data and its constraint are done, and then all the data are stored in a data dictionary and all the data and relationship are in the one place. Now the decentralized database design means, on contrary, in a decentralized database design, the large number of the relationship and complex relation exist and are spread across the multiple sites. As shown in the figure, all the components have its own data and all the data verification and check the constraint by each components. Now, next one is the database life cycle. The database life cycle is the process used to guide the development of the database. It consists of the 6 phases which is shown in the figure. First phase is the database initial study. In the initial study, we analyze the organization structure and its operating environment. We define the problems and list all the constraints. We need to also state the main objective of the proposed system along with its scope and boundaries. Now the second phase is the database design. It is the most critical phase where the DBA has to focus on the database requirements, creates the conceptual design, select the database software, create the logical design and create the physical design. Now what is conceptual design? In a conceptual design, we map the database with the real world entities. Here we perform the data analysis and requirements, develop an ER diagram and normalize to its required forms. And lastly, we verify the database model that is developed. Now the database software selection are underlying the model of the database. The database management system features and tools, the database hardware requirements, portability of the database management system and costs, etc. What do you mean by the logical design? The logical design translate the conceptual design into the internal model. Here, the logical model design components are the tables, index, views, and translation, etc. The physical design in a database design is we need to specify the data storage and access characteristics because this becomes a very difficult in a case of the distributed system. Now the phase 3 is the implementation and coding. In this phase, it includes the creation of the special storage structure for the end user tables, and it also gives the solution to the other issues like performance, security, backup and recovery, maintaining the industry standards or rules, and managing the concurrency control. The phase 4 is testing and evaluation. In this phase, the database is tested and fine-tuned for the performance integrity, concurrent access, and security constraint. This phase is implemented in a parallel with the application programming. If testing fails, then following actions are taken. Find the turning base on the reference model, alteration in the logical design, updating in the physical design, modernize or change the database software or hardware in which it implemented. The fifth phase is a operation. In this phase, the database is considered to be operational and the process of the system evaluation begins. During this phase, some problems may occur and demand for the change. The sixth phase is a maintenance and evaluation. In this phase, we implement the different maintenance techniques like the preventive maintenance, corrective, adaptive maintenance, assignment of the access permission, etc. Now the last one is the anomalies in the database. Now the anomalies are arise in a poorly designed non-normalized database. Non-normalized database are those database which don't follow the database standards or rules in order to design and develop it. There are the several categories of the anomalies that can exist. There are the three types of the anomalies in the database. First is the insertion anomalies, second one is the update anomalies, and third one is the delete anomalies. Now the last one is the anomalies in a database. The two entities as a student and course. Student ID is a primary key in a student table and foreign key in a course table. Now first one is the insertion anomalies. What do you mean by insertion anomalies? If the record is inserted in a reference attributes and corresponding foreign key is not presented in a primary table, it will result in a insertion anomalies. For example, if we try to insert S005 in a course table, it will not permit because it is not present in a student table. Without existence of the primary key, we cannot insert as a foreign key. Now the next one is the deletion anomalies. If the record is deleted from the primary key table or a parent table, that means student table, it will not permit because its reference is associated with the child table or a foreign key table. For example, if we try to delete the record from the student table where the student ID is S003, it will not permit to delete the record. In order to avoid such situation, we can use the cascade update or cascade delete in a course table while updating the processing. Now the last one is the update anomalies. If the record is updated from the foreign key table or child table, it will not permit because it is associated with the parent table or foreign key table. For example, if we try to update the record, student ID become S006 from the course table where the student ID is S003. It will not permit to update the record because it is not present in a parent table. Here we complete the unit 4 in a block 1. At the end, thank you all. Today we have been discussed about the characteristics of a relational table. Different keys like the primary key, candidate key, foreign key, etc. The integrity rules, relational set operators like union, intersect, project, etc. The database design process and anomalies in a database. Now, in the next session, we will start with the new block. If you understand this session and getting the knowledge from this session, then please subscribe the BAU Gujarat. And once again, thank you guys. Thank you all.
स्वाध्यायः